Welcome everybody to MAXDAYS. In this session, we are going to talk about video analysis and how we can analyze our video data within MAXQDA. As Sandra already said, I'm a sociologist and right now also working at Verbi as a community manager, which is really cool combination. So I can use MAXQDA a lot. Why am I interested in video data and how is my background? Just a few quick words before we get started. During my graduate studies, I specialized in interpretive video analysis, especially in videography and video interaction analysis. And yeah, I'm very happy to demonstrate to you today how to analyze your video data with MAXQDA. Yeah, we do 30 minutes and I will be a little bit quick to just show you the highlights, what MAXQDA can do. We have a lot of other resources about video data. You can check out our manual or you can reach out to our team if you have additional questions. But we also have a Q&A section after my presentation where we can discuss a little bit and I can answer your question. Okay, without further ado, let's jump in. Video data. Why is video data interesting? Maybe some of you heard about the term visual turn. In the early 90s, I would say, many researchers started to take video data into consideration, also facilitated by technological development. And yeah, video data is very great because it allows us researchers to really literally zoom in on the empiric realities we would like to research. So with video data, we have a really rich data set that encompasses all that is going on. And there are a lot of new areas of research that we are maybe missing out if we only would look at, for example, text data or audio data. For example, if we are using video data, we can use at the body and how the body moves. We can research different kinds of materialities. We can look at space arrangements and of course we can look at media and media productions, etc. Bottom line, it's video data for many researchers are a great tool, and yeah, it's getting more and more popular, and it's also possible to do it with video with MAXQDA. Before we jump into my live demonstration of MAXQDA, I would like to bring us on the same page so that everybody knows what we are talking when we are talking about video data. And I would like to discuss these three dimensions. So normally we can distinguish video data on three dimensions. So I go through them one by one because yeah, most of you probably already have some kind of video data that you want to analyze or you're planning to collect video data. So I think it makes sense to think about the types of video data that you're using. And with that, of course, comes yeah, certain methodologically considerations. You have to think about how to analyze. So let me start at the top. We can differentiate video data on the continuum between artificial and natural or natural occurring. So in the top right, no, it's top left, sorry. You can see people in New York Central Park, and they would have a party there no matter if there is a researcher recording them. So this is what we would call like a natural occurring situation. If we record them, they're less artificial. And the top right, you can see a film set with a whole production setup. And this is what we would call in a more artificial kind of video data. Then we have another dimension, the action with the camera. Of course, we can have a static camera filming, but then of course, like you have it in a lot of professional production setups, the camera can move, or for example, a lot of policemen and policewomen have body cams on them. So this was also a moving camera. And then we have the third dimension, on which you can differentiate video data, and this is the degree of processing or editing. You can leave the video as it is, unprocessed, unedited, or you can, for example, if you're working with media data or you're doing film analysis, you most often will have heavily processed video data. I want to keep this really short, but these are, I think, important differentiations you need to make. Where on the spectrum falls your video data, and yeah, what type your video data are. Okay. Now I'm going to change into MAXQDA and show you what we can do with video data in the software. Okay, so what I have here is an empty MAXQDA project. So this is also how you would start your analysis basically from scratch. And I'm going to show you first how to import your video data. You go here on the second tab to import, and then you can click on videos, and very easily over your Explorer, go to your folder wherever you have your video data stored, and then import it. MAXQDA supports all standard video formats, also including MOV for Mac users. I would suggest using MP4, but all standard formats are supported. I click on open, and then this window pops up, and MAXQDA asks me if I would like to automatically transcribe my media file. This is a really cool feature. In this case, I already done this before. If you would like to automatically transcribe and use this service from MAXQDA, it will forward you in the cloud. There you need to make an account, and then you can use this feature, and then you can download your transcript afterwards. So I already done this for this session today. So I can click on link transcript and then go to my downloaded transcript here and open this as well. And MAXQDA will prepare this transcript and my video file for me. Please make sure if you would like to use the transcription service that there is a maximum file size of 1 GB. So if you have bigger videos, what is not uncommon, you would have to cut them in a little smaller pieces. Maybe another word about what can be special about video files. Normally, all documents and all files are saved within the MAXQDA project file. In the case of video data and bigger data in general, MAXQDA automatically saves them in a different folder. So if you would like to move your project, for example, from one computer or Mac to another, you have to make sure to move those files as well. You can find them here on the Home tab. There is a button External Files, and there you can find all your external files and also the option to bundle them if you would like to move them. This is an important thing. If you're using big video files, they are not saved within your project file. Okay, so now we have our video file in our project, and now I'm going to show you the main tool of video analysis in MAXQDA, which is the multimedia browser, which you can see now. So just a little bit of background. Sandra mentioned that I was researching populism. This video footage is from political speeches in the run-up for the 2017 elections in Germany. So this is the multimedia browser. This is your main tool, which you that you use for analyzing, replaying, and also coding your video data. So let me go through the functions which are available here really quickly, step by step. You have some settings here, volume and replay speed. And then you can also you can go here is a slider at the bottom. You can also use the slider to slide through your video here at the top. I like to use this one in the bottom, but it does basically the same. One of the most important features, of course, is to select sequences in your video data. You can do. I'm doing that right now. So I'm left clicking, and then I'm holding, and then I'm dragging, and in this way I can select certain sequences of my data. They are now selected, and I can replay them by going here and play clip. This is something you would need very often because when we do video analysis, we tend to look very closely at certain action that is occurring on the video. So you can make a selection this way. There's also the opportunity to just let the video roll and then click on this button here, start clip selection, and it will automatically select. Let me demonstrate. And then you click here, end clip selection. And this is another way how you can select certain parts of your video data. Then you can play the clip here, and you can cancel the clip selection on this button here. There is the opportunity to jump back and forth with these ones here. There are also shortcuts for this. So Shift F12 is this for me. And what I really like to use is not only to jump 5 seconds back and forth, I find it very useful to also use the arrow keys to really jump frame by frame. For example, let me find something a little more interesting here in the video. Let me see. There's a speaker change going on here. For example, here, if we are looking at gestures, then it's often very important to look very closely and very slowly and really frame by frame if you want to analyze them. So I really like to use my arrow keys here to detect like really small movements and how, for example, they are synchronized with facial expressions, for example. So yeah, if you want to go frame by frame, you can use the arrow keys. I think that's very useful. Then here on the microphone button, you can open the transcription mode. If you manually would like to transcribe or you want to edit your transcription. And then here on this button, you can copy a video image to the clipboard and, for example, paste it into your report. There's also the option, I really like this one, is to insert a video image as a document. For example, let's say we are interested in the speaker and his facial expressions and his gestures. So we can just click here. I heard the snap sound, and then we can go. It automatically creates a document of the picture here, and we can continue our analysis with this still here. So also a really nice feature. Let's go back to the media browser. There's also the last option here that you can export coded video clips. For example, if you want to make a specific argument and you were to show this in your report, you have always basically everywhere at MAXQDA and every output, you have the option to export. Okay, let's go into coding. How do I code my video data? For example, let's see. We would like to code this part here from minute 20 and 20 seconds. I make a selection And now I can code this part by right-clicking on it and click on create a new code. I can name my code. I can assign a color, and I can write a code definition when I would like to use that code. And then I also have this text box, the last one down below here, and I can make a comment on this specific coded segments. I like to use this feature for make ad hoc interpretations. If I'm like think about something which is related to my research objective, I like to make a quick comment here, and then later on MAXQDA can show me a list of all my coded segments, and then I will have these comments right there, and then I have a nice overview of all my ad hoc interpretations, and I'm not losing them, because if I let's just scribble them on a piece of paper, they will get lost somewhere on my desk. And this way, I have them nicely organized. Yeah, this is how you code, and you can see here it now created the code new code, and there's a little white square indicating that this code also has a comment to it. This way you can code inductively. So right from your video data, you're close to the data, you can code it. But of course, it's also possible to code deductively, and maybe you have already an established code system that you would like to apply for various, like for a lot of video data. Then you can import your code system, and then you can also drag and drop your code onto your selection in the video, and you can code in a more deductive way. Okay, I'm going to now close this project and show you already fully coded a project, and show you some of the function that I personally really like when it comes to video analysis. Okay, this is a fully coded project. It's from the same research, from the same study about political speeches and about the use of populism. You can see I have my code system down here, different types of populism these speakers are using, and I have two videos from two different political parties. Let's first look at the retrieving features. So what I really like about MAXQDA, that it can brings you right to the points in your data that you are interested about. So for example, I have here codes relating to the content of what's going on in these political speeches in my videos. For example, the speaker, they talk about education, the politicians, they talk about healthcare, they talk about Europe, social justice. And for example, now I want to look into the video. So, and I'm not, if the videos are long, I don't know where to go. So I can, for example, now I would like to know what the second speaker in the second video, where they talk about, let's say, education. And the way I go there is I click on this red dot left to the document, and I can activate it like this, and then it turns purple. And I can do the same thing with my codes. You maybe already know that. And then I have my retrieved segments over here to the right. You can also change the view. I like to have them like this and as a list. And then you can see my video shows up here, and I can click on it, and then it will opens my multimedia browser and brings me straight to the part where the speaker talks about education. And this is a really long speech, I think about over an hour. And this is really useful, this retrieving segments feature, to find your way through your data and get quickly to the points in your data where you want to maybe do a more fine-grained analysis, or you want to rewatch them and validate an interpretation, I like to use this retrieving segments feature a lot for video. And then, yeah, I can go here, go into detail and check my codes, check my analysis. Let's do another one. For example, maybe I also want to compare between both videos. Then I can activate another video as well. Is there a topic where they both speak about, oh, they both speak about education. So let's see and compare those. Okay, here the one speaker from another party is also speaking about education. Might be really interesting to compare and watch these videos back to back and see where they maybe differ when these two politicians speak about the same topic. You see, this went really quickly. So this retrieving feature is very useful. Okay, we're running a little low on time, so let me show you a few other features that I like to use with my video data. The next one is pretty basic, but I think even if you're only exclusively doing your research with qualitative methodology, it's also always useful to get some frequencies, and you can do this here in the compare cases. I can insert my activated documents. And now I would like to know something about, let's see, the types of populism these speakers use. I can insert my activated codes here. You can also see here in the back, my retrieve segments window is refreshing and shows me those segments. And now I can click on OK, and it gives me a cross tab, and I can see which type of populism is used how often by which speaker. And it already gives me a great first overview. I can also, it can also give me percentages here. And of course, it's possible to export this. This is something long ago, I used to do this in Excel, and it took me way longer. So I really like, this is really like 2 clicks, and it gives you some frequencies, which you can use to validate your interpretations, or maybe it can also change your perspective a little bit, and then you go back into your video data and reanalyze part of your data and find something new. Another feature which can be really helpful is the code line. Because when we are working with video, we are working with data which is temporarily, like it's developing in time. So it's important to know what is happening when. So the code line is great for that. It's a visual tool, and it works for one document at a time. So I have now my first document here, and now I can click on code line. I activate the codes I'm interested in, again, populism, and then I click on only activated codes, and I click on OK. And now I can see nothing because if you use working with media data and video data, it's really important to click this button here on the top left, code line for linked media files. And then you can see at which time in my data this speaker uses which type of populism. So that's really cool. So I can see type 1 is used here, and yeah, type 2 is more here in the end for longer duration. So this is already quite interesting. But now maybe I want to compare this to my other codes. So it's nice to know when they're using which types of populism, but how this is connected to the content of the political speech. So now I can activate my content codes here. I can refresh. And now I can see where the speaker is talking about what, and then I can make connections. For example, I can see here, okay, they are talking about immigration and asylum policy when they apply this type of populism. So this can, like, no matter what's the research objective and what is the content of your data, this can be very useful. And again, I'm close to the data. If I double click here, it brings me straight back into my multimedia browser, and I can watch my data again and see if my interpretation is right, and so on and so forth. So that's a really cool feature, gives you a really nice broad overview. And like always in MAXQDA, you can jump straight into the data and you come back, you go back and forth. And of course, this is also something which looks cool in a report, so you can export this as well. Okay, we are almost done. I have one more visual tool I would like to showcase, and that is the document comparison chart. So for the code line, we can only work with one document, and what this feature is lacking, the document comparison chart is addressing that. So I'm activating my documents, my codes here. And then I get here again, make sure to activate media files. And I click on OK. And now it gives me a more broader comparison between two documents, in this case for my study between two political speakers. And here I can already see what types of populism they use. For example, the first speaker is using the type 3 quite a lot, whereas the second speaker doesn't use this type at all. So this is a more broader perspective on your data, but again, can be very useful if you would like to compare more than one video with each other. Okay, a quick rundown of what I really like about MAXQDA when analyzing video data. I hope it will help you with your video data, and let's see if we can discuss a little bit. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay, I'm pulling up. Okay, I see there are some questions. I'm pulling up my questions and answers tab here. Okay. Okay, first question is, do you have a list of video analysis research projects which use MAXQDA? Unfortunately, I do not have this kind of list, but normally every video research project that uses MAXQDA should cite the software somewhere in their references. Okay, let's see. Oh, next question is, does video data include Zoom recordings of interviews and webinars? I would say so. So we discussed the 3 dimensions at the beginning, and we can maybe, really quickly think about a Zoom recording. Like, for example, maybe somebody would like to use this recording of the MAXDAYS and analyze it with MAXQDA, and which kind of video data would that be? I mean, it is kind of natural occurring, I would say. Like we would also do it if nobody would analyze it. So, but at the same time, it's also nothing that you would. So there's also some kind of construction going on, like through the Zoom platform. Yeah, I have a virtual background behind me. So yeah, I would think that would be really interesting to analyze Zoom recordings of interviews and webinars. Great research objective, and definitely video data. Do large video files save to the externals? So the external video folder influenced my project file size. So they do not, because this is the idea of the external folder, to keep your project file small enough that it runs smoothly, and your big video files are at a different saved at a different place, and the project file access those video files. So they should be always at the same place, but it should not negatively affect your project file size. How do you keep your video files light? That's a good question. I tried a few tools, but most of the time I like to keep the quality of the videos quite high. So there's no specific software that I use for compression. Sorry, I don't have a good answer for this one. Let's see if there are any more questions.
Yes, we have 2 more questions.
Okay, let's see. I think I can see them. Okay, reading it right now. Okay, this question is from Katrin. How can I export my codes and stills attached to a video into something like a score? Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that. I meanwhile start talking about it a little bit. So let me see. Open the other one. So I'm not sure what you mean by score, but what you see here, I have different codes overlapping. So this is how it looks in the multimedia browser, and the colors relate to the different codes. So what I would like to do is I use color coding here to differentiate what type of codes I use here. For example, for the blue codes are reactions from the audience. So I have the blue codes here, and then I have the orange ones. This is the broader topic of this part of the speech. So I use the colors to differentiate between different types of coding. You could also think about codes in a additional color, and they would be maybe about specific features of the architecture or the space, and then maybe another code in another color for body movement or facial expressions, or maybe sound, and so on and so forth. I hope this touches your question. Okay, are there any more?
I think that would be all. There was one more, but I think you touched up on that as well.
Yeah, I
There's one
tried to
more.
address it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, there was one more question from Catherine, but I think that one was also answered. So the question was, do large video files influence my project file size? But I think that one was answered.
Yeah, they should not. So
Okay.
that's the idea behind the mechanism of
Yes,
the
yes.
external folder. Yeah, I think it's a smart way to keep the project file small. But yeah, I have to write myself a reminder if I migrate my files from one point to another point, which yeah, takes quite some time, especially with large video files. Yeah, it's not enough to just move your project file. You have to bundle up your external files folder and move them somewhere else with your project files. And yes, if you have any other questions, or you watch this recording and you feel like you would like to reach out to me and talk a little bit about video analysis with MAXQDA, please don't hesitate to do so.